girl. Come on down. Hey guys, question of the day comes from Lainey. Lainey, thanks for the question. That's a great question. How do I keep my dog from going nuts at the dog park? So here's how I do it. I don't take my dog to, hey Pat, I don't take my dog to the dog park. And I know that's like, well, my dog needs exercise and it needs socialization, and that's why I go to the dog park. First and foremost, 1 second here, I gotta correct the dog. Out, no, down, both of you, down, down. So first and foremost, dog parks are really like filthy places to take your dog. So lots of parasites and muck and nastiness. So that's first and foremost. From a health standpoint, I would not take my dog to a dog park. There's a local dog park here where I live, and it's been shut down for weeks, multiple times, because of parasites and all the nastiness that you can find in a dog park, because not everyone, takes good care of their dogs. They just bring their dogs there. The dogs could be sick, and then they just spread all kinds of nastiness, and your dog could pick it up. So that's first and foremost. But from a behavioral standpoint, you don't know the other dogs, right? And now, unless you know, if there's a pack of dogs that your dog runs with, and you know these dogs and they are good dogs and they're trustworthy and their owners are present when they're there. And when I say they're present, I mean they're not on their phone texting or talking to the person about the game the night before, or drinking their coffee and totally ignoring the dogs. I mean, they're really present and watching their dog. And calling their dog off of another dog if their behavior is getting out of control. So I don't trust people and their dogs, because most people, they don't understand dog behavior and dog body language. So most of the time, they're like, just let dogs work it out. Dogs will be dogs, and that's dog behavior, blah, blah. No, it's not. Proper socialization is actually like, it doesn't look out of control, okay? It's like dogs kind of like, kind of coexisting together, moving along in a pack, but it's not this like where, one or maybe two or a pack gang up on another one, start bullying the dog. So I'm not a fan just because of that. Now, your dog is going to be on e-collar, so Bella is obviously e-collar trained. So if you still feel like, well, I'm still going to take her, it's against my best advice, just because there's usually some sort of fallout. There's some behavioral fallout, or your dog gets sick or something, or your dog meets up with the wrong dog, and then something happens. Either your dog is the aggressor, or is pushy with another dog who doesn't know how to take that and comes at your dog and hurts your dog. So if you still want to do that kind of thing, then what I would say to you is practice recall, and always be watching your dog when you take her to the dog park. Make sure that the other dogs around her are, make sure she's looking happy at all times. If she's looking insecure or avoiding or retreating, then call her to you. Use the e-collar. I would have that e-collar on her, just so that you can practice recalling her off a dog. When you can call your dog off of another dog, then she's probably recall ready, off leash ready, where you could probably take her to a field somewhere and do off leash things with her. And if you absolutely wanted to practice off leash training, you could do it at a dog park. I would pick somewhere else, like a tennis court, where you just take her off leash, put her in the tennis courts, close the gate, and just practice recall and make sure she comes back to you. And then once you've got her as an off-leash dog, you can have a great time with her. Just take her anywhere and everywhere off leash where you trust the environment, that it's a safe place, and just let her go, and you can hike with her and things like that. So if you're going to do the dog park, make sure that you can call her off a dog and she's got her e-collar on. But if she does have her e-collar on, remember there are contact points. I know you haven't seen the e-collar yet, but there are contact points on the collar itself, right? So if she starts roughhousing with another dog, you just want to make sure that, those points don't, injure her, that they don't get poked into her skin. And they're rounded and they're not sharp or anything, but, it just depends on, who she's wrestling around with and what kind of play we're talking about. And I'm not sure of the park setting that you're in. Some parks are not like grassy fields. Some parks are like macadam or something. So I guess what I would say mostly is like, use your best judgment, trust your intuition, learn to read body language, not just Bella's body language, but the body language of other dogs. If a dog is hard staring your dog, like, then you want to call Bella to you and just bail her out of there. If a dog keeps coming at Bella and Bella's like, hey, get away from me, and it seems like, that dog is not respecting Bella's signs, then you want to call Bella to you, or say, ask the other owner to, hey, can you get your dog, like call your dog off. And these are things that you'll have to sort of like work through at the dog park. Like, who are the cool owners like you can approach? Like, hey, I don't know if you saw that behavior with your dog and my dog, but your dog kind of came at mine. Some people are okay with that. Other people are like, I'm not a fan of dog parks. Can you tell? So Pat, I know you probably feel the same way as I do. Let's see, what else about dog parks? That's just it. Get very familiar with body language, especially your very own dog's body language. Master her body language. Trust your gut. If something seems not right here, get your dog and get out of there. It's not that important for her to be around dogs. What's more important, socially speaking, in terms of like her being around other dogs, is that when she sees other dogs, she's cool. Like, she's calm. What I do not want is over arousal that can come from daycare settings or dog park settings, where when a dog sees another dog, they go absolutely nuts and bonkers because they want to play or get at that dog. That's not the way to behave. Imagine if our kids acted like that. No, it's like, chill out, we're on a walk, yeah, that's a dog, no big deal, keep moving. And that's what I prefer to have my dogs be like, nah, no big deal. Either way, I'm not afraid to see a dog, I'm not nuts to see a dog. That's why I also do not let dogs meet on leash. That's not socialization, number one, because first of all, leashes can get tangled, and when they do, a fight can break out, and that's number one. Number two, you don't know the dog on the other leash, okay? And so it might seem like an okay dog, and then when your dog meets, well, if you guys have tight leashes, dogs are going to feel that, and they're going to go into fight mode, and that's a fight will break out there. So you don't want that. And also, like, you don't know the other owner. Like, they could do something, the dog or the other person could do something to spook your dog and just set them on the wrong path. And then they can become reactive, and then you've always got a reactivity issue to deal with. So, my best advice is, like, teach your dog to be just kind of like nonchalant around every kind of environmental distraction, including people, children, and dogs. That's why I don't let a bunch of dogs come up and meet my dogs. I don't mind if they do sometimes, but I really want the kids to know, like, approach my dog calm, make sure that my dog is in a sit before, you can greet them. And I let the kids know, like, make sure let me get my dog into a sit, and then you can pet her under the chin, right? Because my one dog, Phoenix, is not keen on children. And I've kind of gotten off the beaten path here, but dog parks, walks, letting children and dogs meet your dog, they kind of all go together. Like, it's all about socialization. I think that's why people go to dog parks, that and for the exercise aspect of it. But honestly, if you're looking for exercise, put her on the long line that I'm going to give you, and just take her to a field and toss her a ball, and just do that for 20 minutes and practice the commands that I showed you in that video. Toss the ball, tell her break, have her go get it. When she comes back to you, say come. You're reinforcing the recall command. She comes to you, tell her to sit, she sits. You say out, she drops the ball. All of that is like mental work. So it's all this physical and mental work, plus you're reinforcing and proofing all the commands it's the most useful 30 minutes that you're going to do with your dog. Plus she's out in the environment somewhere, out in the fresh air. There's environmental distractions everywhere. That's going to make her more rock solid in terms of dealing with distractions. And that's what you've got the e-collar for. So socialization of any kind, just make sure that it's safe and that you are comfortable and confident, and let your intuition be your guide. If for any reason you feel like this isn't a good idea, or hey, I've been taking her to the dog park and look at her behavior. She's getting more rowdy. She's more aroused when we're on leash and she sees a dog. I'm thinking this is probably not a good idea anymore. So I hope those tips help. I know this was long-winded, but these are important things for you to know about your dog. And Lainey, by the way, I will add you to the client page so that going forward, when Bella comes home, you know I'm always accessible to you. You can always email me, but you can also reach out on the client page and post your questions. If anything comes up like, hey, I did go to the dog park and this happened, post your questions there. I'll chime in. Other clients, it's a community, so other people might chime in and share their 2 cents. And just, it's a place where you can just go. It's private, it's closed, and you can just post your questions there, or of course just shoot me an email. Hope that helped. Pat, thanks for joining. As always, you're the best. Take care, guys.